Imagine yourself inheriting an underdeveloped, underutilized, and overgrown plot of land. What will you do with this land? Raise cattle, sheep, or goats? Or you could grow blueberries, hay, or fruit. You can do anything you want with this land. But there's a catch. Whatever you do has to be sustainable. We have developed a plan to raise cattle sustainably. To do this, we will fence off enough land for 200 head of cattle, which will provide an optimum standard of living for a family and contribute to a local economy and community.
Farmers are always looking for new ways and ideas to keep their farms upheld and long-lasting in today's economy. This is known as sustainable ag, which some may call it. There are 3 pillars that are home to many of today's farmers. Pillar number 1 is the profit over a period of time. Pillar number 2 states the stewardship of our nation's land, air, and water. Last is pillar number 3, the quality of life for farmers, ranchers, and their community. Enhancing the quality of life for their farmers, ranchers, and society as a whole is a major factor in sustainability. To keep sustainability a practice at our farm, we will recycle and compost yard and kitchen waste, use organic gardens, participate in seed savings, use rain collectors, build bridges and fences to keep the stream clean, use improved springs to provide water, and sell products to local businesses to save transportation costs. We will also use goats to eat invasive weeds. Many other sustainability practices may come along as new ideas come forth. We will also emphasize the importance of good soil. Making sure this happens will help our farm continue to grow and be sustained for the future generations. Looking at the history of a farm, a fire occurred 12 years ago, wiping out our family's prune farm. We have inherited the land and have come to the conclusion that we have some cleaning up to do. Invasive species have found the ideal place, settling there along with many other species. The farm is clearly overgrown. There's no fences, and there are also predator problems. Fencing will be a necessity in this case. The farm is located near a housing development. The farm also has a stream running through part of the property. We have solutions for these problems.
On our farm, we will need to clear an area for our 40 meat goats to start clearing out. To do this, we will need a small tractor to clear out the underbrush and the overgrown areas that we have. Also, to start, we will need to put in a fence line all the way around the area to keep the goats in our property. Just by letting the goats clear out, it's going to take more time than using a tractor. It's going to take about a few months to get it all cleared out and ready to put in our 200 head of red Angus cattle on. To maximize our profits, we will need to rotate our cattle from pasture to pasture so we don't ruin our fields. Once we start the cattle on our pastures, we will fertilize all the other fields so they grow better and more lush. Shortly after we get all of this in place, we will need some push chutes to vaccinate our cattle and our goats. We will need a truck and trailer to do maintenance around the farm and haul animals and objects from place to place. We plan on cutting our own hay to sustain our animals. To do this, we need to purchase a cutter, a baler, and a rake. To get all this done, we will bring in income in about a year. By getting profit in such a short time, we will be a successful ranch.
We need to enclose 5 1,100-foot squares with a stream running through one of the diagonals of the squares. And to do this, we would need a little under 16,700 foot of fencing, which would cost around $320,000. The fence will be made of wooden posts and barbed wire, which should be strong enough to enclose the cattle and the goats. Now, for our main source of water, we would use the stream that runs through the corner of our pasture. We inherited second water rights, and this along with the 4 underground springs on our property, one of which we will build a well on for easy access to water, and 5 additional rain collecting bins that we will install that should be sufficient to water the animals, irrigate our fields, and use for personal use like drinking or bathing. We should have enough water in the event of a drought, but if something does go wrong or we miscalculated, we are prepared to temporarily purchase water from the city. We will also need to build a small bridge across the stream in order to allow some of the cows to graze on the land, the cost of which will be added to our starting equipment cost. Now, to heat our homes, we would use some of the wood we harvested from our timberland. During spring, summer, and fall, we would chop enough wood to last through the winter and sell any extra wood that we might have for a small profit. Later, we plan to possibly install solar panels to convert sunlight into electricity and make our home even more self-sustainable. Now, to maximize our sustainability, we will employ a mix of many different types of farming methods to ensure that we get the maximum amount of produce from our land while ensuring that the sustainability of the soil for the future will be unaffected. We will use only organic fertilizers and compost to fertilize our land. We will even use techniques similar to no-till farming to plant and grow our crops to reach a produce yield higher than average for our area and climate. We will even purchase 40 Norwegian dwarf goats to clear the brush from the land and avoid having to use herbicides. The cost of the goats and their vaccinations will cost about $3,100, and we could use the goats later on for meat and for breeding to increase our overall yearly revenue. Our starting expenses will be exceedingly high. We will need $330,000 for equipment and fencing cost, plus another $300,000 for the cost of the cattle, and another $3,100 for the goats, which would add up to around $633,100 loan. However, we are confident that with enough hard work and dedication, we could pay off all our debt and eventually yield a high profit.
Marketing in agriculture is not advertisement. Instead, it is the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the sale. Kalapuya Cattle Ranch will sell yearlings to Sherms in Roseburg, Oregon. When sold, the yearlings will be around the national average, which is 13 months, providing higher quality meat. In addition, an acre of organic food will be planted to provide for the family, and the surplus will be sold at the locals' farmer markets. By doing business locally, money and resources are kept in the regional economy, which is part of sustainability's second pillar. The food business is something that will never go away. This means profits over a long period of time. With 200 head of cattle, a standard of living that allows families to have health care, education, and vacations is achieved. The planned operations require no government assistance. We will grow our own hay and have enough water for the cattle. The cattle will pay for their initial cost within 3 years. This piece of land has been in the family for years. We plan to keep it that way by passing it down to the next generation. Ownership will remain in the family. By selling to a local business and farmers markets, we can influence the prices of our product. These factors fulfill the third and final pillar of sustainability.
Sustainability is a simple concept. Be smart with how we use the earth and its resources. We do this so others may use them later. That's where we, the people using the air, water, and soil, need to protect it. We must stop ground erosion, limit air pollution, and stop water contamination. We do this by limiting pesticide use to a minimum, utilize rainwater, and take advantage of local materials rather than having foreign materials shipped. This will limit air pollution and improve the local economy and home life. In America, agriculture is one of the nation's largest industries. It affects every single person in the country, whether they know it or not. That's why it is important to be sustainable. Better days through better ways. Anyone who's been around a rancher or farmer know it isn't a 9-to-5 job. More like 5 to 9. Sometimes it seems the days aren't long enough. There's always something else to do. We work to improve that through advanced technology and better, longer lasting equipment. This will allow for a shorter day so ranchers and farmers can sit down and talk to their families without something lurking in the back of their minds. That's how we improve the quality of life.
Clearly, this Kalapuya Creek Cattle Ranch will be a sustainable operation, fulfilling 3 pillars of sustainability, which are environmental, social, and economic sustainability.
Supporting us will be a desirable action for you because this plan has worked elsewhere, and there is a superior return on investment. We've developed a plan, so let's build our ranch.